there are 22 dudes, 25 if you count the punter, the kicker, and the long snapper, and they're all legends. So that humble Stetson Bennett, well, that was his answer when asked about being the legend and having a movie after him. He said he just wants to make sure that the entire team is recognized as legends. And yes, we're here on Lumpkin Street at about the halfway point of the parade route. I got lots of dog fans. It's a sea of red and black, and I found maybe the biggest of them all. Listen, this guy, the Smith family right here, they came all the way from Jackson, Florida, guys. They live in Gainesville, even worse,
yes.
The swamp. You came from the swamp, right?
Exactly.
And that's a big trip. I mean, you got to deal with all the Gator fans down there.
Unfortunately, yes.
So how's it feel to be in Athens, Bulldog country?
Love it. Actually, just enjoy being up here. Wish I could move here, but due to work, I can't. But we always come up here as much as we can, when we can. And I'm a huge dog fan. I'll be a dog fan for life. And so trying to raise my son the right way.
Yeah, absolutely. Raise him with the G, right?
Damn right.
Feels good to be here. Talk about the energy. Can you feel it?
Oh, man, it's great. I've never been to one of these. I've never been to a parade, so this is our first time being up here. And we missed last year's due to COVID. We all had COVID. And so I was really upset I couldn't come last year. This year, I was going to make it no matter what. So we're here. We're enjoying it. Try to see what else we can, what else will come.
Okay, well, guys, have a great time. I want to do one thing here real quick before we send it back, okay? Watch this. Have some fun with the crowd, right? Hey, guys, Georgia! Georgia! Bulldogs! Georgia! Bulldogs! Oh, don't you love it? Don't you love it, guys? We are ready on Lumpkin, guys. Parade steps off at 12:30. Rob, Ella, back to
you. Amazing. Leave it to Adam to get the crowd hyped up. But
You need to put that man first row at the 50-yard line for the home games, the way he gets our Georgia fans here cranked up. That was awesome.
You should have seen him in Athens after the game. If you were watching our post-game coverage, he was out there with all those 20-year-olds just going crazy.
Oh, Adam's not 20? Oh, that's news to me. How about that? All right, we have a lot more ahead. We're going to talk to a lot more fans.
Yep.
Of course, we're going to see your national champs as well once this parade starts. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back.
You're watching Parade of Champions on Atlanta News First, sponsored by Beaver Toyota of Cumming. You're watching Parade of Champions on Atlanta News First, sponsored by Beaver Toyota of Cumming.
All right, we're continuing our coverage out here live in Athens. I'm Rob Hughes alongside Ella Dorsey. Ella, this is such an exciting day. And you know what? We did it last year, and it hasn't cheapened it one bit this year. Is it even sweeter?
It is even sweeter. We asked a lot of people that in LA, how does it feel, such a defining win? Everyone said it feels even sweeter. Even the players said that it feels even better to do it 2 times in a row. We're already talking about three-peat. We're right outside of Sanford. The Tate Center, Student Center is behind us. It is packed full of fans. Guys, we're at the end of the parade route. Parade going to start in about 15 minutes. Yep. We're jazzed up.
Yeah, this is not the weather you necessarily think about when you think about the state of Georgia, but it hasn't soured
There's
the
not
fans
a cloud
here
in the sky.
one bit. It is a beautiful sunny day, albeit chilly. We'll send it out to Emily Gagnon now. Emily was covering the Dogs. She has been covering the Dogs for years now. Emily, you've been along this entire ride with the Dogs the last 2 years, and you're along the parade route right where the dog walk's going to happen, I understand.
Yeah, so I'm basically at the very last spot players will see fans, because once they exit this area, they'll be entering the stadium. Right now, cheerleaders walking by. Take a look. Ella was describing the Tate Center and the bookstore, how many people were around both of those buildings. That's essentially where I am. This is a makeshift dog walk since the stadium is under renovations, upgrades. So this, again, will be the very last location. Fans will see players as players go into the stadium. I'm with a couple of pups right now, some baby dogs. You know what? They are very excited to be here today.
Ooh, go Dogs! Sick 'em!
See, they practiced this little routine for us, guys, because they knew they were coming on TV. Who's your favorite player? Let me ask you that.
Stetson Bennett. Brock Bowers. Stetson Bennett.
All right, so we've got two Stetson Bennett and a Brock Bowers. And Mom over here, she's the mom of one of these boys. She was actually in LA. Tell me what your experience was like in Los Angeles.
Oh my gosh, it was the experience of a lifetime. We had a blast. It was so fun to be with so many dog fans, and it was just an incredible experience.
Is this surreal for you to know back-to-back champions? And for so long you guys waited. It happened last year, and then it happened right away again.
Back to back, it's unbelievable. As a UGA alumni, we never experienced this in college, so it's so incredible to experience it with our kids. So, go Dogs!
And when your kids talk about the Dogs, they obviously like Stetson Bennett, Brock Bowers, these young men who are setting great examples for your kids. What's it going to be like next season not seeing Bennett on the field?
Well, we have wonderful dogs, Ladd, McConkey, and several more that are coming back, so we're excited. But yeah, they will always remember Stetson Bennett, and we're so thankful for the wonderful experience he gave us for the past few years.
Would you say that he is a Georgia legend? Did he earn that title?
Is he a Georgia legend?
Yes. Yes.
Absolutely?
Yeah.
What do y'all tell Stetson?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
A lot of fans, young, old, thanking Stetson Bennett. And as this woman just mentioned, right? Yes, there are so many Dogs leaving this team. We know that quite a few declared early. Jalen Carter, you got Big O, Darnell Washington. I mean, some of these guys declared early to go to the NFL draft, and rightfully so. They accomplished everything they wanted to during their college career. Rob and Ella, I'm going to send it back to you. Both Rob and Ella have not declared early at any time soon. They're sticking around.
You know, Emily, as you were talking to those little kids, I was thinking about growing up who my football idol was.
Yeah.
I idolized Ed Reed like there was no tomorrow.
That's a good one to idolize.
Yeah. Who was yours?
Peyton Manning. I'm from Indianapolis. It's pretty simple, right? I mean, who are you going to pick? Of course, in those days, it was all about professional football.
Right.
Around here, it's college football.
It is.
It's bigger than professional football in Athens.
College sports, there's so much more love and community almost, I believe, around it. And, you know, once you go to the school, you can never go to an NFL team. You just feel an allegiance, a different kind of allegiance.
That's true.
But yes, as a kid, as a football lover, right? As a kid, you always have that one person that you grew up just watching, loving, that really idolized, they embodied football, right?
Yeah.
Really cool to see that Stetson
They start
Bennett,
them young around here, right?
Stetson
those
Bennett
little boys.
is that for so many young kids. And that's going to really change those kids. They're really going to want to come to Georgia now. That's so cool to see that live in action.
And I like to think that as we interview these young kids, that we're going to see them blossom into potentially future Dogs, whether it be just to come to school here at one of really the world-class institutions of the United States, and of course, maybe on the football team as well. There's a lot of motivation in Stetson Bennett's story for a lot of these kids. And as a few of our interviewees mentioned, there's a lot more to it than Stetson Bennett. There is a lot of talent on this Georgia team.
And you know someone who's been covering the Dogs for years, decades? His name's Fred Khalil. Fred, tell us what you think. Where are you at?
We are right here on the corner of Lumpkin and Baxter, where the makeshift dog walk is going to go right here through us. And we're among a lot of the fans. And if you look across the street, you can see the posters there of Stetson Bennett, and there were You also have some there. You just got rocked by Brock. So Brock Bowers, Stetson Bennett. The fans are lined up. You can see the little fan up there. He used to have a football helmet on, but he took his helmet off. His dad let him take the helmet off, and now he's got his hood on. He's trying to get his hood over his head. But this is just a great crowd. I mean, you got a sea of Bulldogs up and down Lumpkin Street here, and we're on the corner of Baxter where it'll be the dog walk, and the guys will come right through here. We've got some fans in here with us as well. Ismir's our photographer. Young man, what is your name? Where are you from?
Michael Sanders, Atlanta, Georgia.
All right, what do we got here, huh?
Turnover chain.
We got the turnover chain.
Go
All right.
Dogs!
And look at this right here. What do you want you look at? Right here. We got a GoPro up here, huh?
Go Dogs!
We got a GoPro up here. We got folks over there. If you can turn all the way around, Ismir, look, we've got some kids that are actually up in the tree. Can you see those young guys up in the tree? They're trying to get a great view of the dog walk as the folks come through here, but it's kind of crazy down here. We are pinned in. They kicked us off the street, so we can't get across the street now. But look, our buddy's got his helmet on now, and we're getting ready to go here. And the folks are fired up. Let's go back to Ella and Rob, and you can see the fans over there fired up, getting ready for this parade, guys.
Listen, this is no small campus.
Look at that. It is wild out there.
This is no small campus, but they are filling it well here today, huh?
They sure are. I wonder how many thousands of people. I mean, just based on this behind us looks like 5,000-6,000.
Yeah.
It's really incredible. I mean, we did it twice in a row, but that's only been done one other time. Alabama 2011, 2012.
Relatively recently, yeah.
So who knows when this could happen again for us? I think people aren't taking it for granted.
And it's going to change too when we go to a 12-team playoff as well. It's going to be more and more difficult to win a single national championship, but of course win back-to-back national championships. So we'll see how that unfolds in the next few years, but certainly Georgia is as well positioned as anyone to continue to have success. And as a lot of Dogs fans pointed out to us, Kirby Smart is a young man, and he is at the very peak of his career right now, and that peak looks like it could continue. We had people talking three-peat at halftime of that second national championship win.
Well, it was 38-7, Rob.
That's exactly right. So you can't blame them at all. When it's that lopsided, they can already start looking ahead to next year, which is crazy. We want to reset and send it back out to our colleague Alan Devlin, who is on South Lumpkin and Pinecrest. And Alan, you talked to a variety of really enthused Dogs fans. We're getting ready for the start of this parade. What's going on out there?
You know what? Right now, you can kind of see they've got the chant going. Listen up, listen up. Go Dogs! Go Dogs! That's what's going on right now at the very beginning of this parade. Here, come with me. Let's walk down this way. Let me show you some of these fans out here getting excited and ready for this UGA parade. How y'all feeling today? Y'all feeling good? Go Dogs. Let's go. Go Dogs. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Woo, woo, woo. Talk to me. Talk to me. How you feeling right now?
I'm feeling well.
You feeling good? You excited?
Yes.
So, of course, the parade route is going to start right over here behind me. That's where they're starting. Y'all seem excited. Y'all seem excited. My man. What's your name?
Elijah Bell.
Elijah Bell. How you feeling, Elijah?
Great. How are you?
I'm good. How about you? Shoot. Bulldogs. Now, of course, you are too young to be a UGA alum, so you must be a big old fan, right?
Yes, sir.
How's it feel to be celebrating your Dogs going back to back here?
I mean, it's great. It's like, not a lot of teams do this. It's a special moment.
Absolutely. Like, nobody does this. Who does this? Who goes back to back? The Bulldogs do. I'll tell you that. Now, one thing I want to see if they're going to let me do, I want to follow me back up this way. We're going to go up this way real quick, because one part of the group, one part of the fan base out here that's been getting kind of shunned so far is the people at the very, very front of this parade, right? You've got a whole group of people up here who, unfortunately, aren't getting any attention. And I'm going to see if I can come and talk to them up here real quick if the police officers will let me. We're going to stay out of the parade route. Get up here real quick. Because everybody up here, they're at the very, very front, and no one's talking to them. Can I bounce over here real quick? I gotcha. All right. I had to come talk to y'all because y'all are at the front. Y'all are at the very front. How y'all doing? Right here. What's your name, ma'am? Charlotte. How does it feel to be out here celebrating Georgia?
Awesome.
Now, mind you, back to back, no one does that. I want to ask you, though, were you ever nervous watching that championship game?
No.
Absolutely not.
No.
Were you nervous?
No, I knew we had it from the beginning.
Was anybody nervous in that championship game? Absolutely not. 65-7. Can I get a go, Dogs? Go, Dogs! There we go. It is incredible out here right now, guys. This is where, again, this parade route is going to be starting right up this roadway. They're going to come right down here, and if you look this way, you'll see the long route they have ahead. It's going to be a good one. I'm going to send it back to you guys right now. Once they get started, come back to me, and I'll show you this party getting kicked off.
Alan, we are so distracted because we have an actual dog, okay? We're going to turn the camera.
A bulldog.
This is Hank. A DGD, all right? A DAWG. This is Hank. He's got his jersey on. So not only do we have people fans, human fans, we have pup fans here as well. How cute is Hank?
He doesn't want to point his face to the camera because he's looking at Sanford Stadium like any true dog would. Isn't that right?
I might be a little bit partial, but I think that our mascot, Uga, is the cutest mascot in all of college football. Okay, Smokey, I get it. Whatever. He's a dog as well. He just doesn't hold a candle to Uga.
Butch, thanks for bringing Hank by.
We really loved meeting Hank.
We appreciate it. That's awesome. That is awesome. And I believe Uga, the current Uga's reign has been the most successful of any Uga. That makes sense. I believe 2013 was when this Uga took over as the official mascot.
Yes. When I was in school from 09 to 13, we went through 5 Ugas.
Okay.
And now we're on Uga 10.
Okay, Uga 10.
And
Uga 10's had a good run.
He's holding down strong. He didn't make it to LA.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that he may be here today.
Listen, that's really cool. It is a great mascot, and he is well taken care of. We know that.
Yep.
Certainly. Man, what a stretch this has been for Dogs fans. You know, we talk about Uga's reign. We talk about Kirby's reign. Kirby's just 47 years old.
Yeah.
Back-to-back national champs. Stetson Bennett retires or moves on from college football, 29-3 career record.
And Kirby's 81-15.
Right. Yeah.
Think
Those
about
records
that.
speak for themselves.
81-15. Now, since Kirby took over in 2016, there's been a lot of heartbreak. 81-15 doesn't really paint the whole picture. We've almost made it to the playoffs. We've almost won a national championship. We've almost won a couple SEC championships. So to be on the other side of it now, Rob, it feels really, really good. I can't tell you how much I walked out of Mercedes-Benz Stadium almost crying. Twice crying. And now
you haven't forgotten about those times by now.
You know
after
what?
Back-to-back national championships.
I need to let that go.
We can rinse that.
I can let that go because this is what we're in for now. We interviewed a kid coming out of LA, out of the stadium. He said, "I am gonna hold on to this. I'm still a little, up and down because of Mark Richt era, but now we're in Kirby Smart era."
All right, yeah. Well, we're going to continue to talk about the Dogs as we should. Back-to-back champs. We're going to take a short break. The parade is just on the other side. We'll be right back.
You're watching Parade of Champions on Atlanta News First, sponsored by Beaver Toyota of Cumming. You're watching Parade of Champions on Atlanta News First, sponsored by Beaver Toyota of Cumming.
The celebration, the party continues, back-to-back national champs. We've said it a few times today already. It doesn't get any sweeter than that. We're going to continue to say it, and why wouldn't we?
National champs. Last year, national champs. This year, it is a great era to be a Georgia sports fan in general, but especially a UGA fan.
And you're going to hear the words three-peat mentioned today out in the fans as well. We've already heard it a couple of times on our walk to this setup here where we are live just at the end of the parade route. We want to send it to the start of the parade route. Alan Devlin is there live. Alan, loved hearing you talk to the fans. One thing about you, Alan, is you're going to put your photographer to work. He's going to follow you.
Oh yeah, that's the one thing I try and do out here, because he is just as responsible for this as I am, right? He's showing you guys what's going on. I'm just telling you. But speaking of showing, we're still waiting on that parade to start. It is 12:31, so we are very, very close. I'm sure the buses are going to be coming around this corner any minute now. We are just kind of waiting. It's a waiting game right now. But I'll tell you what, I've got Chloe here, right? Now, I was just standing here a couple of seconds ago. Her granddad is actually the one that said, hey, Chloe wants to talk about the Bulldogs. So I said, all right, then we got to talk to Chloe then. Chloe, tell me a little bit about how it feels to be able to sit front row and witness history here today.
It feels pretty good. I'm just really proud of the Bulldogs and how they kept through with this double, like
back to back,
whatever. But I'm just really happy for them and really proud of everybody.
Of course, I'm sure everybody is. Now, you're a little young. Go Dogs, go Dogs. Exactly, a lot of that today. You're too young to be at UGA, of course. So what is your connection to UGA? Why are you a UGA fan?
I just grew up in a UGA house my whole life. So, I'm kind of like a diehard fan. And, when I turn 18, I want to go to college here. And it's just something I look forward to trying to do when I get older.
You'll get it done. You'll get it done, Chloe. Don't worry about it. A couple more years, you'll be good to go. How about these boys down here? Hey, guys. Oh, you're excited. I like this. Let me sit down here with y'all. How are y'all doing?
Good!
Y'all are all decked out. You got UGA all across the way here. Are you excited to be out here today?
Yeah!
Can I get a name roll call? What's your name? Landon.
Walt.
William. Landon, Walt, William. I like it. That's a nice, rolls off the tongue there with the three names there. How are you guys feeling? You guys must be just ready to roll, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Excited?
Yes.
It's going to be a good time. They should be coming down here in a little bit, guys, so be ready. Can I get a fist bump? Boom. All the way down, all three. There you go. Thank you. I'm getting old. I can't even get up off the floor like that anymore. Y'all are young. Look, no problem, sir. So, again, guys, it is waiting time right now. We're just waiting. Everybody's so excited. You know what? They see the camera and they just go crazy for everything that's going on. Yeah. There we go. You know what? I'm gonna see before I get it back to y'all. I'm gonna see if I can do something real quick. Can y'all help me out real quick? Okay. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna hit the Go Dogs. Y'all gotta hit me with the sick 'em woo woo woo. Got it? All right. Ready? Go Dogs! Sick 'em! There you go. All right, guys. Come find me when the parade starts. We will be here. We will be waiting. Back to you guys.
It sounds like I need to teach Alan how to bark the same way I taught you how to bark.
Yeah.
It's not a woo woo woo,
no,
Alan.
It's got a little more bass in the chest.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, give it to me.
A little pause, right?
Yeah,
I did it too quick.
Yeah, you gotta get deeper with it. Try it again.
You listen.
There you go. It had to come from the chest.
Yeah,
now
it doesn't come naturally to us who aren't dogs, but certainly we've enjoyed being along this ride and seeing some of our dog, and UGA alum at the station enjoy this. You, Adam Murphy, there's quite a few, and you get to see that extra little bit of energy covering this team from you guys. Of course, it means so much to you.
Oh boy, before that game last week in LA, I was so nervous.
Really
Rob.
anxious, very quiet.
Really
I'm out there
nervous.
having a good time, smiling. I'm pretty confident in the dogs, but I don't have as much invested as Ella, and she was over there just like.
We're watching the game. The first couple minutes of the game, Rob's talking to us about work, about how we're gonna. And I'm like, Rob, we're not talking about work right now. Please don't talk to me.
Let's get through the first
I
half.
have to watch this game, right?
It unfolded in a hurry.
It sure
did. And then
did.
You started to feel a little more confident. It was sinking in, and you were enjoying it a little better. I'm sure that's how a lot of Dogs fans experienced it as well. Because no matter how confident you are in your team, and they were pretty confident, you never know until
it's a national
kickoff,
championship
right? It's
game,
national championship
right?
for sure.
And we came out 65-7.
It was a
Couldn't have been
beatdown.
better.
It was
Couldn't
a
have been
beatdown.
better.
And
Yeah.
everybody enjoyed every second of that, even as it was decided early on in that game what the eventual outcome would be. Okay, we want to continue our coverage with Rebecca Schramm. Rebecca, we've heard you talk to even Stetson Bennett's family. Oh, we have
the
a parade.
is starting.
The parade's starting.
Yes. Okay, it looks like we're going to get you back out to the front of the parade, which again is near 5 Points. It's going to come down Lumpkin to Baxter and then through the Tate Center into the stadium. You can see the cop car, the very start of the parade now at the top of Lumpkin Street. Again, last year, this was a pretty quick parade, Rob.
Yeah, not a particularly long route, but certainly so much room that it doesn't need to be a long route because even with the thousands and thousands of fans, there's plenty of room for people to see this team, and here they come, huh? Of course, they've got the escort from law enforcement.
Are they going to be on a float? Are they going to be on a bus? I wonder what they're going to be on. Here we go.
You hear?
There's Kirby.
Yep.
He's in
The lead dog, right?
Yep. BMW convertible. Look at that convertible, souped up.
You know, it's really fun to see him enjoy this because this man is about that business.
Right.
And this is a one day really, other than post-game, of course, of the national championship, where he can really just enjoy this because you know the type of coach he is. He's just going to turn around and start watching tape and getting his team ready for next year tomorrow.
Yep. So the next season starts tomorrow. So I'm glad that he can kind of bask in this glory. Like you said, Rob, he is all business during the season. And then we have Harry Dog in the next convertible.
Listen, let's face it, there's Bulldogs that are the mascot of a lot of teams, but there's no Bulldog quite like a Georgia Bulldog.
You know what, Rob? You said it best. Just then and there. Certainly not a day where you feel like sitting in a convertible is extra comfortable.
A little breezy up there on top.
A little breezy. At least it's sunny. It is not raining like it was in LA last week. It is beautiful and sunny here in Athens. Let's see the current temperature, 39 degrees, but with the wind it feels like 30.
Yeah, a little warmer on those fall Saturdays here in Athens than it is on a Saturday in January, but
the fact that we are getting football coverage on a Saturday in January.
You know you did something.
That's right.
You know you did something. There's only one school that can say that, and that's Georgia. Yeah, you know, the anticipation obviously is building there among fans, but I like that this is moving slowly because it gives all these people a chance to see their team, right? A lot of people not able to travel all the way to Los Angeles for this game, and so they get to support their dogs and celebrate their dogs with the dogs here as this parade moves slowly by. Right now we want to send it out to Alan Devlin. Alan, are you close to where this parade is starting? What do you see out there?
Oh, no, absolutely. I'm right out here at the very beginning. I've got my photographer, Gino, who's showing you guys the parade. I'm standing in the crowd. I'm having a good time with the rest of the Bulldog fans. And, you know, I can see around the corner here. This thing is long. This thing is rolling. And you talked about it moving slow. You got these massive 18-wheelers trying to make these turns on these Athens streets. That's going to take some time. It's going to take a little bit of time. But Bulldogs fans don't care. They're here to celebrate. You know, no one cares about anything like that. The parade's slowly moving up. We saw Kirby Smart, we saw Harry the dog, and now they're starting to chant, of course. Let me see if you can hear them. It's all over the place, but it is a great time right now as some of the players start to make their way around the corner up here, riding in a Ford F-150, being met by cheers from the fans, of course. An incredible ceremony going on right out here. Rob and Ella, you know, this is coming your way. Eventually it's going to be right there with y'all. I'm sure by that time it's going to be even more hype because of the anticipation heading into Sanford, right?
Oh, yes. You are right about that, Alan. Sanford Stadium is truly a one-of-a-kind stadium. Just a few years ago, they added a fourth down celebration where everyone gets their phones out, turns the light on, and then goes up and down with the arm. At nighttime in Sanford, that is just about peak sports fandom moments right there.
Yeah.
But this is another peak sports fandom moment, is watching a national championship parade.
And interestingly, they didn't actually have any night games this year,
No.
which is certainly at least kickoffs starting at night. And I know that's a thing that a lot of UGA fans want. But let's face it, the SEC on CBS, the CBS crew wants the top game.
Right.
And they get it with UGA a lot of weeks, right? So they play them at 3:30. Looks like we're seeing Stetson Bennett.
There he
There's
goes.
no other way to say it. He's a UGA legend. He's a college football legend.
And he's an idol. We heard it today from so many young kids. I mean, he's their favorite player.
He's a role model.
Such
He
a
really
good role
fills. He
model.
fills that role. You just hear it from him when he talks. He's all about the right things.
All about the right things on the field and off the field, too.
Yep. There's nothing not to like there about Stetson Bennett. It was pretty clear, even when he wasn't proven in the college football world, that he had the full support of his teammates.
And his
if
family.
he didn't have that,
Yeah.
it might not have been as easy to play him if you're Kirby Smart. But that's what he came back to. I mean, when you've got all these five-star recruits, all these future NFL players that treat you as their leader, that says something.
And do you remember beginning of last season when Kirby was going back and forth? He's playing Stetson, playing Jacob Eason, go back and forth
and
between.
then JT Daniels.
Right.
The list goes on and
Right.
on. All these five-star, big-arm guys that Stetson was having a battle for playing time with and eventually overtaking.
And all of those
Right
guys,
call, huh?
Justin Fields now, super successful. JT Daniels, Jacob Eason now
A lot
playing.
of big names have come
Right.
through UGA
Right.
quarterback in terms
For
of
him to
hype
win
out of high
that
school.
over them.
And it's Stetson Bennett. It's Stetson Bennett that is the guy, that is the quarterback of this team this year and last.
Just really great.
It
I
is.
mean, and then now that he's going to leave, I think that next year the focus is going to switch back to our defense. The defense was really the whole team last year, right? It was the reason we won the national championship.
It's really
Yes,
cool to see the
Stetson was
different
there.
ways they've
Yeah.
won it, right?
Right.
It was defense last year, and Stetson was the game manager. Well, he proved to be a lot more than a game manager. Counted for 6 touchdowns in his second national championship. What else needs to be said? Hard to critique that performance.
Can't critique that performance.
Yeah. These are some pretty sweet rides they're coming through town on.
Man! Yeah, there's some car companies that are getting promotion right here, baby. Was it F-150? Is that chromed out, or
I
is
see
this just
some
the lighting?
NIL deals coming for some of these UGA players in these car dealerships. I think an arrangement could be made.
I think BMW kind of slid in because I'm seeing a lot of that.
That was what Kirby was on, one of those convertible Beamers.
Do you remember the Mark Rick at Ford F-150 commercials? I remember those like, gosh, every single time.
How cool it must be. I mean, there's so much stress, anxiety, practice, time, effort that goes into winning a national championship.
Yes.
But for these players, these coaches, these fans to sit here and enjoy this in a non-stressful way, knowing that they've achieved everything they set out to achieve, man, that's got to be a good feeling.
It's got to be a really good feeling.
A unique feeling. There's not a lot of people that get that feeling.
No, because, Kirby has them so focused that every single week in the off season and during the season is about this moment right here.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know if you guys heard this, but Kirby's pregame speech was released.
We can't run that.
We can't
on our
run
air.
that. It's
We'll
a little
just say that.
explicit, but I can kind of give you the gist. He said, "This is what you've worked for
Yep.
for 365 days. Go out there and kill them.
Beat them up.
Beat them up."
Be the physical football team, and that's what they've been ever since Kirby Smart came here. I remember that about Alabama with Nick Saban. They won 7 national championships, and a trademark of Alabama was being a physical, bruising, unforgiving football team. And Kirby Smart and these Georgia Bulldogs have taken over that title in college football.
Yep.
We're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back with more parade route coverage when we come back.
You're watching Parade of Champions on Atlanta News First, sponsored by Beaver Toyota of Cumming. You're watching Parade of Champions on Atlanta News First. Sponsored by Beaver Toyota of Cumming.
Our Parade of Champions coverage continues on Atlanta News First. Rob Hughes alongside Ella Dorsey as we reset here and start to enjoy or continue enjoying this Parade of Champions. We're celebrating back-to-back national championships.
Let's get you right back out to the coverage. Here is Kirby coming down Lumpkin at Smith Street. So you guys know Lumpkin runs right through the heart of Sorority Row, then down into campus. And it looks like right now they are rolling through that area. Yep, you can see.
Hey guys,
student
I don't know if you can hear me. It's awfully loud out here, but you see him there, Kirby Smart and his family. Look at that, and the crowd is going nuts, as you might imagine. I want you to meet somebody really quick right here. This is Henry. Tell me who you're most excited to see.
Brock Bowers.
Look at that, Brock'em Sock'em. He is ready to go. He worked hard on this. Now turn around. There's Harry Dog. Look at that. That's your #1 Bulldog right there. How fun is that, seeing this?
No, it's a lot of fun. Nice to have it 2 years in a row.
How are you guys? Where are you from?
We're from here in Athens.
And when you see this, does it just warm your heart?
It does, and you know, I was much younger when we won the one in 1980.
Yeah.
So now he gets 2 in a row, and he's 10.
Look at that. Henry, how about that?
It's amazing that we're able to do it back to back. It's just cool to see most of the players win their second ring.
That car.
And loving the looks on their faces, huh, when they won that and the confetti came down?
It was amazing. I stayed up to watch both of the playoff games this year. I was very nervous for the Peach Bowl.
Bet. All right, so here comes some more of the UGA folks. Dad?
Yeah.
All right, so Dad, how about you? Your thoughts as you watch your son watching this parade?
Well, as my wife said, I mean, I moved here to Athens in 1994, and I've been going to football games since then. We've seen a lot of games that didn't inspire parades. I'm really happy that he can grow up watching a team like this and watching the community get out here and be so excited to celebrate in January, not just during the season.
And 2 in a row for him, you know?
2 in a row. He's going to get spoiled, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. So we'll watch next year, see how it goes.
Right.
What are your thoughts about next year?
I'm optimistic about next year. I mean, of course, they've got a lot to replace, but we said that this time a year ago, and they didn't miss a beat. So, you know, I think enjoy it while we can and watch Kirby keep reloading.
All right, so who are you looking for as we watch this parade?
Oh, I'm a fan of Brock Bowers. Everybody on the defense. I'd like to see Nolan Smith. I'm glad he stuck around and was such a presence on the team and so visible. He's a real ambassador now. So I hope that he's out on one of these floats as if he'd been in the game.
Yeah, you know, and so many people think the same way. It's neat watching these guys. And all of them, whether they got to play or not, just excelled as a team, right?
Absolutely. And I think that was it, that they were lifting each other up, challenging each other. I mean, that's everything we heard about the practices before the championship game was that the offense thought the defense that they were running up against during the week was better than anybody they saw on the field, right?
Yeah.
It's that iron sharpens iron, as they say.
Yeah, I hear you. That's a great way to put it. We'll send it back to you guys as we continue to watch. There, oh, whoa.
Get out of the street.
Stetson Bennett. There he is. That's the guy, the man of the hour. And look at these fans. So excited to see him. How about that?
Yeah, that was good. I'm loving it.
Who do you see here?
Who is that?
I'm trying to figure it out myself. Guys, look at this crowd. So excited seeing these players. So happy to have these fans out here supporting them. And they are loving every minute of it.
So great. Natty Daddies.
Natty Daddies.
Natty Daddies.
Oh my goodness. That is awesome.
I mean, truly, this team is Natty Daddies.
Yeah,
Two in a row.
a few takeaways from those interviews too. I love a little bit of the saltiness from some of these older Dogs fans that are jealous of their kids for having to experience back-to-back national championships. You know, they waited 41 years between titles from 1980 to last year, and now back-to-back. I mean, this is unprecedented, really, in college football, but certainly here in Athens to win back-to-back. And also seeing Stetson there. I mean, listen, we've talked a lot about Stetson Bennett already, but it's deserved, and it's just really cool to see these guys bask in the glory of their accomplishments.
One more thing that you were just saying, that all of these kids are getting to experience this.
It just doesn't happen.
No, it doesn't. And you know what? What that dad said is he's so excited that his son gets to grow up not only seeing a good football team, but in a community. This is a community.
A lot of friendly faces out here today, that's for sure. And you get to see how big and rabid a fan base as these Dogs are now. Imagine what it would be like in a decade, 2 decades, 3 decades with a team with a history of winning back-to-back national championships. He also said iron sharpens iron, that man that Rebecca interviewed. I like that because these teams from last year and this year won in very different ways. Last year it was, can Georgia score enough points to support its defense and beat the elite teams in college football? We saw it unfold in the SEC championship, and we're like, maybe Georgia isn't good enough to win a national championship.
Right.
Their record was good enough to make it to the college football playoff. They avenged that loss against Alabama. It was a lot about defense last year. 5 first-round picks on the defensive side of the football for Georgia last year. That's a lot of NFL talent, and all they do this year is win a lot of football games in a very different way. They put up 50 against LSU in the SEC championship. They scored 65 in the national championship, and when they needed their offense, when they were on the brink of elimination in the semifinal against Ohio State, those boys showed up.
So listen to this. I'm looking at the statistics right now. Georgia is the 4th highest scoring football team, 41.6 points per game on average this year.
Who would have thought that starting last season,
crazy.
then in a year, that would be the offense we're talking about. And they won in very different ways. And last year, Stetson Bennett and that offense got to go up against one of the great defenses of all time in practice. And if you think that didn't prepare for this year, they couldn't face a better defense than what they faced in practice last year. And that offense came out this year, and they showed.
And we're talking about, we haven't mentioned much about the defense.
And they showed up.
Because they're young. But when you actually go back and look at the scores of every single game this year, there are only 2 or 3 games, I believe, where the teams put up more than 1 touchdown against us. Tennessee did it. Ohio State did it. Off the back of my head, I can't think of another team that did it this year.
Yeah, there was a couple games where you saw some inconsistency out of the defense this season that you didn't see last year, and that's, again, a function of young players, but these guys are talented. There's a lot of 5-star recruits, a lot of 4-star recruits, and future NFL players on this year's defense as well, and you're going to see that show itself next year. There's only a few players that are going to be lost off this team, and that's why there's so many UGA fans that are talking three-peat, which is super exciting. Can you imagine we're sitting here celebrating the second one? I can't even fathom.
I'm already thinking about what I'm going to wear next year. What am I going to wear for the championship parade, Rob?
Next year? Yeah, you're already thinking about that? Wow.
I got the jacket.
Listen,
I'm going to add
that's fine. I don't see anybody knocking off the Dogs.
It's going to be exciting year. SEC is going to rule. When does the playoff expand to 8 teams? That is the year after next, correct?
I believe it's 2025.
Yeah, so we'll still have 4 teams in the playoffs next year. That's good for Georgia because for the SEC, I mean, look, if Tennessee would have been in it this year, I believe would have given us a harder game. If Alabama would have been in it this year, I believe they would have given us a harder game.
Well, that's the beauty of playing in the SEC.
And they're 2-3 loss teams because they're in the SEC. Well, they're going to be in the playoffs in a few years.
When you play opponents like that, you get to play other teams from other conferences.
Let's send it out to Adam. Adam, what are you seeing?
Hey there, Ella. Look, Kirby Smart coming down Lumpkin. Fans love it. He's with his wife, Mary Beth. Looks like his son Andrew in the front with him too. Andrew's been right there with him. He's one of the biggest dog fans there is. And Kirby's right up here by our camera. Fans are going crazy. Thank you. Thank you. Wow. Kirby's got them fired up, guys. Look at this right here. Here's Harry Dog. Jerry Moorhead. We've got Jerry Moorhead, president of University of Georgia as well, with Harry Dog. Such an exciting time, guys. Harry's number one. That's the best mascot there is in all of college football. You gotta love it. And you know, Kirby really going by, we got a chance to thank him on a spectacular season. He acknowledged our camera, he acknowledged the fans. Look at this excitement. Wow. I'll tell you what, last year was unbelievably special, and I didn't think we could top it, but we just did. One of the greatest fan bases in all of college football here at the University of Georgia. Now we've got the flatbed. I anticipate we'll see some cheerleaders, the rest of the team, revving up some cars down here. This is too good, guys. Like I said, it is so loud out here on Lumpkin. I'm just letting y'all take all of this in because this is really cool. If you couldn't make it to Athens, but you're able to watch Atlanta News First, I mean, this is history to win back-to-back championships. And now we're getting on the trailer here. They got the flatbed. It looks like some families, some coaches. Go Dogs. That was Glenn Schumann, one of the co-defensive coordinators back here to the right. Yeah.
Adam, real quick, hey, I heard you say when they won the national championship that we're living in the glory days right now. That was one of the best things I've heard to describe what we're experiencing. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, this is the glory days, and look, here's Stetson Bennett. Stet. Hey, Stet. Hey, Stet. Wow. Got a nice ride, doesn't he? But listen, you're talking about the glory days. Okay, before this run over the last 2 years, it was 1980, and everybody referred to 1980 as the glory days. And who would have thought in 2021 and 2022 that Georgia would win back-to-back championships? And to win back-to-back championships is so rare. This is the glory days and then some. They're barking like dogs out here. How about them dogs? How about them dogs?
Go Dogs, baby! Mama, Motor Dudes, what's up?
They're having a good time. And we are too, guys. Hope you're enjoying this at home. All right, Robinella.
Adam is such a fan right now. He's being such a fanboy. I love every second of it. But Rob, when you usually talk about the glory days, you're talking about the past. We're talking about the present
You
right
see
now.
it every day, every Saturday on game day. You see those 1980 shirts. Well, you're going to see them still, but you're going to see 2021. You're going to see 2022, and those years are going to live on in Georgia history. And we'll see if they can keep it rolling. They have a bright future, there's no doubt about that, and a relatively young football coach who's led up to all this success. We'll be right back after the break. We're going to take a short break, and we'll see you on the other side.
You're watching Parade of Champions on Atlanta News First, sponsored by Beaver Toyota of Cumming. You're watching Parade of Champions on Atlanta News First. Sponsored by Beaver Toyota of Cumming.
Welcome back. You are looking at the parade going on. You can see Kirby behind him, Harry the dog. Behind him, the infamous Stetson Bennett. 3 idols coming down Lumpkin Street, making their way to Sanford Stadium. That's where Rob and I are right now, right outside the stadium. We want to show you what's going on behind us, guys. This is the Tate Student Center, the library. They completely filled out. I would say there's 5,000, 6,000 fans behind us. This is the end of the route where the dog walk will occur before all of the players go into the stadium for the start of the ceremony. And Rob, I guess we expected this turnout, but it's really incredible to see it.
Yeah, and the anticipation is building. Let's face it, we've started to hear those cheers from across campus. It kind of reminds me, and this will be familiar to people in this area, of the Masters. You start hearing those echoes from unbelievable shots from across all 18 holes through the valleys and the beautiful tall Georgia pines. Well, we're starting to get that feeling here. You're starting to get the music.
You know, I'm big chilling. What happened? Yeah, they came in. K-Mac, you hear me with RBU? K-Milk, Deuce. There's Daddy. Hey, boy, you a clown, boy. You hear me? Oh, I got you. Come here. I want to hold the camera. Let me hold the camera.
Congratulations, dude. Sweet.
Adam, take it away, man.
That was awesome.
Trying to recognize some guys.
Here's all of the team coming down Lumpkin Street, souped up BMWs, really nice Ford F-150s. They're having a great day. They also are living in the glory days, Rob. These players work so hard, 360 days a year, and this is the 1 week where they get to sit back, relax, and enjoy this work.
Credit to them and their hard work. Credit to them for picking UGA as a place they could call home, and that's what's beautiful about this, to be able to.
You couldn't have dreamt of anything quite like this, huh?
Not at all. It's surreal. It's surreal.
Go Dogs. How's the
Go Dogs.
family feeling?
Awesome.
You're all rock stars, right?
I don't know about that, but
just to be a part of it with Stet was pretty cool.
So special. Such a special year. Such a special year.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Enjoy the moment.
Thank you.
Go Dogs. Thank you.
Adam Murphy just getting in there, man. He's like, come on, talk to us. I'm surprised he hasn't jumped in one of those trucks at this point.
Yeah, it's awesome. Everybody out here. Let's go. Go Dogs.
Congratulations, man.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations.
You're looking at Ladd McConkey, another very, very popular player. Sophomore, I believe?
Yep, sophomore. Unbelievable,
Sophomore.
right? He burst on the scene last year and was good from the very beginning, and of course one of Stetson's favorite targets. And he was struggling with some knee issues towards the latter half of this season. He battled through it. Not a lot of productivity necessarily in those final few games, the SEC championship and the semifinal, but a big game in the national championship. Had absolutely no idea he had any kind of knee trouble in that game. Laying it all on the line, as you would imagine he would.
And let's not forget the defense, right? Let's not forget the defense.
TCU couldn't do anything.
No.
They couldn't do anything. The defense heard what everybody was talking about after putting up that performance against Ohio State. And they came out and proved that that's not who they were.
3 takeaways in the first half.
TCU couldn't even move the
17
ball.
points in the first
over.
half. Scored coming off of those takeaways.
Right.
This team is a good division between offense and defense. We spent a lot of time talking about Stetson because of just kind of the Cinderella story that he is, but we can't forget it's the whole team. It's the whole team that made this season what it was. 15-0, perfection.
Great teams win in a variety of different ways, and that's exactly what this Georgia football team did. They did it with offense. They scored 50 against LSU, 65 a record for a national championship game against TCU. They went on the road in Lexington late in the season in a good environment in a night game, scored 16 to beat Kentucky. They've done it in a lot of different ways, and it's been a lot of different players, both sides of the football and in special teams, and that's exactly what Kirby Smart wants out of his team, to be able to go and have a season like they've been able to have. Think it's loud out there?
They got these guys on all types of cars. They got on fire trucks.
We got the big rigs.
They got them on
the
hay
fire
rides.
trucks, the Beamers, the F-150s.
How do they pick where they want to sit?
I don't know. What would you go with?
I would be on the hayride for sure because I bring all my friends.
Yeah, you want to be with as many of your teammates as possible.
For
I like
sure,
that.
yeah.
I don't know if the fire truck's the place to be. I wouldn't be able to hear myself think after a while there.
Awesome. They're coming down Lumpkin. You're looking north. So down the hill, they're going to turn right into the Tate Student Center. That's where we are. We are right outside the stadium. So the parade, not quite here yet, going to get here in just a few minutes. And everyone here is full of anticipation for this, what you are witnessing right now, what is on the way towards Stanford Stadium.
Is the bookstore back here behind us too?
Yes, library's right here behind us.
Yeah. I think business is good there these days. They sell some.
What do you think their revenue is today?
Oh my! Forget it. I mean, listen, money is not a problem for this.
I'll tell you what, I spent $300 on books every semester there, so.
That's jump change, I think. Textbooks are expensive. I think you should feel fortunate to come away with
that chemistry book was $195. I opened that thing one time.
Yeah. No need for an organic chemistry book these days. But good for you.
You could reminisce on, I'm sure, many people watching that went to school in UGA. Another great part of UGA is not only the football team, it's the campus, it's Athens, it's the city and town itself. It's called the Classic City for a reason. So much nostalgic memories, just nostalgia, just being in this city today really brings you back to your own college experience. And that's part of this whole thing.
It's a great school. It's a world-class institution. It's so much more than just football, but of course, to be able to bring that pride out for all alumni through the football program, what a unique experience that is. Again, there's only one team that can claim national championships in a given year, and that's the Georgia Bulldogs this year.
Right.
Imagine what the applications and enrollment is going to be like at this school in the next 10 years. You have a football program like this, and what is already a popular, outstanding school only becomes more so.
You are exactly right about that. Think about what Nick Saban did for the University of Alabama as an education, as a school, as a whole in the last decade.
You think there's some out-of-state students that have gone to Alabama over the last few years?
I would say probably
thanks to what they have to offer down there in Tuscaloosa. Well,
now the
anybody
education.
who's doing that now, because the party's here at Athens, Georgia.
We love it. We love it. Let's listen back in.
It's just a constant roar, constant cheering. It's so loud.
I think back to when I was a kid, Rob. I never got to go to any of these championship parades. I went to a lot of 4th of July parades, right?
Yeah.
These kids are getting to go to national championship parades for their football team. That is really,
Think about
really cool.
these 8-year-olds, these 9-year-old little boys and girls who will get to tell these stories when they're grandparents someday. And, back in my day, in the glory days of 2021 and 2022,
2023,
those dogs were the
2024.
best college football team I ever saw.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, what are you talking about?
Well, hopefully it'll continue
Right.
for the next 60
I
years.
don't see it stopping anytime soon. Let's face it, it's going to be impossible to win a national championship every year. Alabama's run was incredible. I believe 7 in a matter of a little more than a decade. That it doesn't really get much better than that. So we accept that you can't win it every year, but this football team is well positioned to be competitive and competing for national championships for years to come.
You're exactly right about that. We're going to get it back out to Adam. He is about halfway down the parade route. Adam, where are you? What are you seeing?
Well, everybody's now doing a mad dash to Sanford Stadium. I mean, everything has gone by us. Everybody wants to get down inside the stadium, get a good seat for the ceremony, which begins at 2 o'clock, obviously. But at this time, I mean, fans have just been so pumped after seeing their favorite players go by. What was cool about this parade is they had an opportunity to really get a good look at some of their favorite players as well. And also some of those players were taking pictures or selfies, high-fiving even fans that were nearby. So really cool. You can see the buses as well. These are buses that they're taking down, and on the side of the buses it says back-to-back national champions 21 and 22. There are a sea. Well, I should say there is a sea of red and black. Everybody headed down to Sanford Stadium where you, Rob and Ella, are at. So you're going to see all these fans making their way inside for the celebration. We had a chance, though, in between our live broadcasts out here at our location to catch up with a few of the players. Keely Ringo, also Stetson Bennett's younger brother who's on the team, said this is just amazing. I mean, they're living a dream, and we talked about it being the glory days. This is the glory days. It hasn't ever been any better than this, and fans are really soaking it up today. It's Saturday in Athens, and they're having a great time.
You're exactly right about that, Adam. Let's bring you back here to Tate Center, because this now is where the energy is palpable, Rob. I mean,
a lot of anticipation building here.
Oh boy, this is a look behind us.
Yeah, can't help but want to turn around and soak it all in, right?
Yeah, I'm turned around. Okay, so we see the cheerleaders now coming down through the dog walk, which is right in the middle, in between the library and the Tate Center. You can hear them cheering. So this is the very front end of the parade.
What a good setup here. To be able to do this through campus here, come through here, have all of these people be able to crowd around and see their team. Of course, we know that the dog walk is a little bit altered today because of the construction at the other side of Sanford Stadium, so we're not far from where they actually do it on game days. But really cool to see this kind of all leak in to Sanford Stadium, and what a stadium this is.
It is I mean, look, I might be a little partial, but it's such a great stadium. It's great on game day. Yeah. It's great for noon games. It's great for 3:30 games, but it is especially great for night games, blackout games where everyone's wearing black, you know?
Yep.
The whole stadium. And Emily is right at the opening of Sanford Stadium. She's in the midst of it in the dog walk. Emily, where are you and what are you seeing?
Yeah, I am right outside of the stadium where the dog walk ends, that makeshift dog walk. You're seeing cheerleaders come into the stadium right now. Coaches and players will come down the stairs. You are watching straight into the stadium. So this is a great vantage point for the end of the dog walk. You'll be able to see all of your favorite players coming down. Hopefully I'll be able to talk to some of them. And we have a lot of family members around us. A lot of the players' families are here waiting to cheer them on as they come down. You have to imagine this is a very proud moment for them. You know, moms and dads, those are usually the two people players thank first when they get awards. When you talk to them, they usually say, my mom was at every single one of my games, high school, pee-wee ball, college. So moms, dads, sisters, brothers, uncles, aunts, all here waiting just like fans to cheer on their family members. But yes, we are absolutely waiting at the end of the dog walk right now for players and coaches to come through. I can hear a lot of fans around me, so I assume that it's nearing. I assume players and coaches are starting to walk, but I'll send it back to you guys, Rob and Ella.
Yes, Emily, you're exactly right about that. The players making their way down, probably past the MLC, which was previously known as the SLC in my day. Here they come. Yeah, you can hear the roars.
Look, these people are on top of the bus stops. I mean, we're talking 10, 12 feet in the air. I'm surprised we don't have people in this tree over here. We have people on other people's shoulders.
Yep.
Stacked 2 or 3 high even. And the idea of not having any idea where Emily is down somewhere in this mass, I mean, it's just a Where's Waldo. Like,
right.
It's just red, black, white, the Georgia colors.
And if you look closely, you can see in the middle, that's where the dog walk is located. That's where the players' families, the coaches are walking through. We just saw the police, which is the front end of this. It now looks like we are going to see Kirby come in, and he is the lead. Behind him, behind Stetson, the rest of the team. So they are now walking through the dog walk. This is what every fan dreams about, is seeing their players, their idols up close, right?
Look at that smile on Kirby, too. You just don't see a smiling Kirby all that much. I mean, he's such a competitive, serious dude. And he gets that, of course, from spending years under the great Nick Saban. And certainly a lot of Dogs fans are hoping he can replicate the success that we saw sustained at Alabama. And let's face it, it's not like Alabama's gone away yet either, but today is not about the Tide. Today is about the Dogs, because the Dogs reign supreme in college football at the moment. There's no doubt about that.
Oh, we can't say that. We love that we just beat them last year, and since then they haven't really been a story. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Yeah, you know, they struggled this season, you know, by their standards, certainly. Of course, they only lost 2 games. So.
Oh, you know what, Rob? We're going to take what we can get, all right?
Yep, no doubt about it. Man, what a cool scene. What a cool
really,
scene. And it's just
really
getting
cool
more
scene,
and more
yeah.
beautiful out here, too.
It's
Beautiful,
warming
clear,
up.
sunny day, getting a little warmer. Still a little breezy.
I'm seeing anywhere from 1-year-olds to 80-year-olds out here.
Yeah, there's strollers out here, man. People bringing the babies.
Yeah.
They may not remember this, but they'll be able to say that they were there someday when they tell their kids about the Dogs. So many people. I mean, they could fill Sanford Stadium with the crowds we've seen out here today. It'll be interesting to see how much they do fill up this stadium. Because, of course, there is a ceremony once they get here where you're going to hear from people as well. And we'll continue our coverage of that throughout the evening on Atlanta News First. We're here to cover the parade, and this parade has been one. How fortunate have we been, too, to be able to cover a couple different parades?
I mean, I feel like a very lucky Dog fan, as I'm sure all of these tens of thousands of fans here today. Hey, guys, we're going to take a really quick break. We're going to be right back with the Dog Walk.
You're watching Parade of Champions on Atlanta News First, sponsored by Beaver Toyota of Cumming. You're watching Parade of Champions on Atlanta News First, sponsored by Beaver Toyota of Cumming.
Welcome back. We are outside of Sanford Stadium, right in the midst of the championship parade, something that every football fan, college football fan, dreams about. We're getting to live it right now, and so are you at home. We're bringing you live coverage of the parade. You're looking at the dog walk right now. This is right at the end of the parade route before the players enter Sanford Stadium. We just saw Harry the dog walk by. We just saw Kirby walk by, Stetson as well. Certainly a lot of leaders on this team.
No doubt about it. Hey, listen, it's not the nicest day to walk your dog, but it's a really nice day for a dog walk.
Oh, God, the dad jokes.
I've been sitting on that one.
The dad jokes Every morning.
But it's true.
Every morning with
But
this
it's
one.
true. Listen, on a serious note, it's true. It is an awesome day for a dog walk. This tradition started in 2001 when Mark Richt took over. We've talked a lot about Mark Richt and some of the heartbreak of that era, but he set this era up.
He did.
There's a lot of really successful Georgia football teams that didn't quite get over the hump, but if he didn't create the success that he did in his tenure with all those future NFL players, A.J. Green, Todd Gurley, Matt Stafford.
The ones that this team currently grew up watching.
Exactly.
And idolizing.
He set the stage for Kirby Smart and what his program has done, going to 3 national championships in his short tenure so far, 2 of them wins back-to-back, 21 and 2022.
Here
comes the team.
Here they come.
What do you think they're thinking right now? Can you imagine the feeling in their stomach, the excitement? What it must be like to be received by thousands and thousands of fans like this.
It's got to be a really cool feeling, Rob.
It's a cool feeling to be here for it and see it with really no connection to UGA myself whatsoever. Let's send it over to Emily Gagnon, who's down there near the dog walk. Emily, I imagine fans will start to get cranked up down there.
Hey guys, so down here right outside of the stadium where the dog walk ends, players are walking through into the stadium. Defensive guys coming through right now. I just saw co-defensive coordinator Glenn Schumann with his family. Now you're watching a bunch of other guys. I saw Chris Smith right there, number 29, the senior who gets to leaving quite the mark on the program. This is an emotional day for him. He told me that, of course, he could not wait to do this one last time with his teammates.
That's just crazy time.
Guys, he came back as a super senior. He had an extra year of eligibility. He came back to play, to be able to do this, to be able to repeat. Carson Beck, guys. I got to stop talking about Chris Smith. You got Carson Beck, number 50, and there's Stetson Bennett, the 2 quarterbacks. Of course, Stetson Bennett is leaving the program in good hands. Carson Beck is more than likely going to be the starter next season. He will be the guy manhandling the team, and he learned from what you can say is the best quarterback in Georgia history. I heard Ella and Rob talking about Stetson Bennett. You know, he leaves here with a 29-3 record as a starting quarterback. And guys, he now owns the record for passing yards in a single season. He threw for over 4,000 yards this year. We forget that he was able to accomplish something like that because of all of these other huge group accomplishments, like winning the SEC championship, like winning back-to-back national championships, the individual awards that he's also been able to accomplish. Of course, doubted for so many years, and Todd Monken, the offensive coordinator, admitted to us during Peach Bowl week that the staff made a mistake about Stetson. They got it all wrong. They did not know that he'd be able to step up to the plate and succeed like he did. And you know Bennett enjoyed hearing every minute of that. They were sitting right next to each other when Monken admitted it. So that was probably a little bit of a aha, I told you so moment. Stetson just continued to fight, continued to do all the right things. So we're still here, guys. Players still coming down. What a moment for these players, for these family members who get to watch every moment of this. Brock Bowers, number 19, now coming down. I don't think that I need to introduce him to any of you. The tight end, who's a sophomore, you guys still get one more year of him. And yes, you cannot argue that he is the best tight end in the country because he got the Mackey Award for the best tight end in the country. He should have gotten it his freshman year, honestly. Here he is coming down. Zion Logue right in front of him. And you know what's funny about Brock Bowers, guys? On Tuesday morning after the national championship, he said he was coming off the elevator, down the escalator stairs, and Kirby said, hey man, you gotta come in, you gotta come pitch out of the bullpen because Stetson Bennett can't make it to the press conference. So he got right on a bus and headed over to talk with us during a press conference he wasn't even supposed to attend. That's the kind of guy Brock Bowers is. He's all about the team. There are no selfish moments with that man. All right, now let's keep on looking at the players coming down. I can see you got Ladd McConkey, the wide receiver, who injured himself in the SEC championship, did not play many minutes in the Peach Bowl, but had 2 touchdowns. in the national championship game, he injured his knees, had some knee issues right there towards the end. It pained him not to be able to contribute to the team. But in the national championship game, he played big for this team, caught 2 touchdowns. And he is returning next season. He will play for the Dogs. You'll get more of him. For much of the season, he was the leading receiver for UGA. Huge smile as he walks down. And let's continue to look at other players walking through, friends and family where I am. I think it's important to say there are no fans where I am, just friends and family. It's the last stop for these players before they get to walk inside the stadium. For some of them, the last time they will go into this stadium as a student athlete. You know, this senior class, I gotta tell you guys, the winningest in program history. These seniors leave here having won more games than any other team that has played here. I mean, that is unbelievable when you think about it. They've been able to accomplish so much, and I know that fans keep talking about three-peating, but we're not there yet. We are not there yet. We need to celebrate the day, celebrate these back-to-back championships, but I do think it's worth saying no team has ever won back-to-back championships. It's never happened. Of course, the Dogs win back-to-back championships 2021, 2022. The last team to do it was Alabama in the 2011 and 2012 seasons. Kirby Smart, part of that team as a defensive coordinator, now head coach here. He's been able to turn things around so quickly in 7 short seasons. They've been to 3 national championships, have a 2-1 record in those games. I believe, don't quote me on this, but I do believe in 7 seasons, he's the winningest coach in 7 seasons of any program. He's won more games than anybody else has in 7 seasons. I believe I saw that somewhere. And if he isn't the top, he's got to be close to it. He has won a ton of games since taking over here. More friends, family, players, coaches coming down as they continue to walk through the crowd. What a beautiful day, guys. The weather's great. I'm going to send it back to you and Rob and Ella. I think that
you're right
the
about that.
majority
81
of
and
players have
15. Yep. Emily, 81 and 15 is Kirby Smart's record. So, yeah, that's
a little more than 2 losses a year. That's going to get it done. You're going to win a lot of big games doing that, and certainly they've been under that average of 2 losses a season the last couple of years. And 1 loss last year, 0 this year, 15-0.
Emily made a really good point, too. It's got to be a really incredible feeling for those seniors to know they are part of a program that just is going to be solidified in football history as some of the best years.
Well, think about the guys who are sophomores on this team. Ladd McConkey, those records may be short-lived because Ladd McConkey's got 2 more seasons here, and if they continue what they've done the last 2 years, well, he's going to have more wins than this senior class. So think about these future senior classes over the next couple of years. Really is cool to think about. This team is going to be here to stay, regardless of what players are on it.
That's it. Yeah, we'll be right back after this, guys.
You're watching Parade of Champions on Atlanta News First, sponsored by Beaver Toyota of Cumming. You're watching Parade of Champions on Atlanta News First, sponsored by Beaver Toyota of Cumming.
Welcome back to our continuing coverage of the championship parade. Rob and I right outside of Sanford Stadium. We want to show you what's going on just over 2 hours right there. Starting to let fans into the stadium. That's where this parade ends. That's where the celebration is headed. Thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of fans on Sanford Drive right now outside of the stadium. On the right of your screen, you're seeing the players come down the dog walk. Emily is there. She said that this area that you're seeing right now is only friends and family. So this is the end of the dog walk. After the players make it through the fans, they get to see their friends and family before walking in the stadium. Really cool.
I love that because what perspective they have, too. They've been on this journey with their sons since a very young age,
right?
Playing Pop Warner football and
traveling
and
all
flag
over
football and then traveling, all over the state. And let's face it, too, this team is a collection of players, a lot from Georgia, but all over the country, too. Brock Bowers, for example, from California, the Bay Area. So players travel far and wide to be a part of this Georgia football program. And it is a national recruiting program.
Sure
Why
is.
wouldn't you want to come to Athens, Georgia, and be a part of a football team like this? But really neat to see these parents get to enjoy this moment with their kids. They put in the time, the effort
The same
to
way the kids
create
do.
this football life that their kids have helped create
Right.
as well. And to be along that ride with them has got to be pretty special.
You got to be all in on your kid to get them to this point. And you see it a lot when, these players are interviewed, not only at the college level, but at the NFL level. They thank their parents so much for being there every step of the way. Parents are fundamental in getting the kids to this journey. So that's another huge part of the story. Imagine being one of those parents and how proud you are to see your child get to live this moment.
And coaches, high school coaches, there's a variety of mentors these players have outside their parents as well. Just their support systems. It requires a lot more than just a couple of people to help these players achieve some of the dreams that they've been able to achieve here as a part of this Georgia football program. And cool to see more and more players come down these steps.
Can we zoom out, Eric? Get this kid's sign right here. Brock is my bruh. Can we get it? Hey, hold your sign up. Yeah. Look at that sign. Can you get in there, Eric? Brock is my bruh. We love it.
Emily said it. Brock Bowers has been the best tight end in the country really the last 2 years.
He gives
Officially,
Greg Kittle vibes.
Greg. That's a great comparison. And Greg Kittle is a pretty impressive tight end in the NFL for the San Francisco 49ers. But Brock Bowers has a bright future in the NFL, and because of the rules, he has to come back for one more year here.
We love that.
Which is unbelievable. I mean, to be the best tight end in college football as a freshman, do it again as a sophomore, win that award, earn that recognition, and still have to play college football before you can even enter your name in the draft. And let's face it, too, he may have been the first tight end selected last year and this year if he was draft eligible. He wasn't, so he's still a Georgia Bulldog.
Can we talk about for a second, Rob, that just a few years ago, that the first national championship team, Sony Michel, right? And you had Nick Chubb.
That lost the national championship?
Yes, so we were called, back when I went to school here with Todd Gurley, and afterwards, this university is called RBU. It's called Running Back University.
Yeah.
It's not, although we still have a solid team all around, we don't just have to depend on our running backs. We're talking about Ladd McConkey. We're talking about Brock Bowers. We're talking about Stetson Bennett. We're talking about our defense. We haven't even mentioned RBU. It's incredible the way that the program has shifted and changed over just the last 5 years.
And it was RBU by committee this year, too. They had a lot of guys who filled that role in the backfield. Last year, Zamir White, James Cook, they were drafted into the NFL. Who was going to fill that void in the backfield? Kenny McIntosh waits his turn in his final year of eligibility
and was an
awesome
much better.
running back this season.
He got so much better just throughout the year. You saw him
and he
develop
could have
as a player.
transferred.
Yeah.
He could have transferred. He could have left UGA playing behind those guys, but he waited for his opportunity. His opportunity came. He took it, and he scored some big touchdowns for the Dogs this year and led that backfield. But, certainly a number of different players that had a huge role in this team and last year's team that have helped them win national championships.
So now we have the band, which is certainly another huge part of a game day
at
Athens. The Redcoats, yes. Fantastic marching band. They are now coming in, going into the stadium. I mean, that's part of the whole game day as well, is the Redcoats.
A college football game is not complete without a band.
Yep.
And this band is one of the best.
Yep. Another thing that is something that I want to note is that we get to watch as Georgia fans, and we just kind of touched on this, but so many of our players get to go to the NFL, and we can get to continue to watch them on their journey. Like we just talked about, think about Sony Michel, okay? Think about Nick Chubb. They're both in the NFL playing right now. Todd Gurley had his day in the NFL.
You can go further back than that. You know, AJ Green,
right.
Matt Stafford won a Super Bowl last year.
Still in the league, right? When was he was, you know, his quarterback. He was quarterback before I even went.
Yeah, in
the 2000s.
Yes,
yes. So it's really cool that these careers don't end here. They extend for decades
and you can
sometimes
say that
after.
about whether these guys go to the NFL or not too, and that is the beauty. I know you're so proud about your school, and not just because of the football team, right? I've said it a few times. This is one of the great public universities in the United States, and these people should be really proud who are alums of this great school to be able to come out here and, of course, have the pride in their football team, but know that they received a world-class education here as well. So there's just a lot of pride that comes with being a part of a school like this.
You said it best, Rob, and I'm
a
living
little
it
jealous.
right now.
I love
so
my
prideful.
school, Purdue University. I'll give them a shout out. They are another great public university, and so I kind of know how people here, might feel about their education, even if my team isn't back-to-back national champs. But there's a little extra layer to it when you can make that claim.
You are right about that, and it must be really great to be a sports fan in this town, but also Emily, a sports reporter who gets to cover all of these teams. Right? Just a great air to be anyone in sports in Georgia. Let's send it out to her with the latest down at the dog walk. Emily.
Yeah, Ellen, Rob, it's funny because I got here 6 seasons ago, so that would have been Kirby Smart's second year. So the very first year I started covering the Dogs, that was their first national championship run. I just heard you guys talking about Nick Chubb, Sony Michel. Let's talk about Roquan Smith, guys, the linebacker who now plays for the Ravens. He is all over this stadium, but you're taking a look right now at a picture of him while he was playing here. That was his final season at Georgia, my first year covering the Dogs. He just signed the best contract in NFL history when it comes to a linebacker, $100 million. So when you leave Georgia, you definitely go on to play and do big things. Nick Chubb, Sony Michel, both are doing big things right now. So Roquan, just an example of what you guys were talking about. When you come here and you play, you get a chance to move on and be very successful. Right now, you guys mentioned it, it's the band that's walking into the stadium. No more players, coaches, or family members. The final line of defense now going in before the ceremony gets started. And I can't say it enough. What Kirby has done here, we keep talking about it. It is truly spectacular, but he is just getting started. He told us on Tuesday morning during his press conference that he was going back to work, and that was less than 24 hours after he hoisted that trophy. He said, next season starts now. The 2023 season starts now. He said when he got on the plane to fly back to Atlanta, get on a bus, then bus to Athens, that he would be worried about the 2023 season. Coach, give yourself a second to enjoy these moments, right? You just don't know when they'll be back. But this team is confident that they will be back in this position again next season. You guys talked about the running backs, Kenny McIntosh, who didn't transfer out, who waited his turn, who learned from so many backs before him. He had to wait till he was a senior to be able to see the playing time that he wanted, but he stuck with the plan. Guys, he was the first running back at Georgia since Todd Gurley to rush for at least 600 yards and catch at least 400. So even though he had to wait his turn, he was able to still accomplish a lot, and we will eventually see him play on Sundays next season. So many of your favorite Dogs will be moving on, and we do know of a few that have declared early, including Jalen Carter, JC, who declared for the NFL draft right after the national championship win on Monday night. You also know that Big O, Darnell Washington, he will not be returning next season. All 6'7", 270 pounds of him will not be playing for Georgia anymore. Broderick Jones, the offensive lineman, right now, if you take a look at the draft, A lot of predictions are out there, and he is predicted to be the first tackle taken in this year's NFL draft. Also, Keely Ringo, the DB, he is leaving early, heading to the NFL draft. Right now, Jones, Keely, and JC, Jalen Carter, all projected to be in the first round of this year's NFL draft. Carter projected to be in the top 5. So last year, you saw Trayvon Walker go number 1 overall, and some people are saying Jalen Carter has a chance to go number 1 overall. Talk about a feat, right? Having the number 1 overall pick in last year's NFL draft and the possibility of having it again in this year's NFL draft. That doesn't happen very often. So on the defensive side of the ball, though, here at Georgia, that's what should be happening. Every year you should see a guy coming out of Georgia in the top 10, because obviously head coach Kirby Smart, that's his jam. The defense is his jam, and he goes out there and he's serious with these guys day in and day out. And guys, I've been listening to you guys talk all day about the things that these players go through, and I want to give you one sentence before I send it back to Rob and Ella. Players always tell me practice is harder than playing on Saturdays. That's why this program is successful. Head coach Kirby Smart and his staff make it harder during the week. On Tuesdays, they have something called Bloody Tuesday. And that's when they go out there and they attack. That's the hardest practice of the week, and players talk about it all the time. Bloody Tuesday this week, it was something. It prepared us for today's game. I hear it all the time. Guys.
I don't think I'm cut out for Bloody Tuesday, Emily. Bloody Tuesday sounds pretty tough. A little too tough for my liking, but it makes sense. This is the toughest college football team and program that I know of right now. That's what Alabama has held that title. It's what allowed them to have the type of success they've had. But these days, it's the Bulldogs. It's because they're the toughest college football team there is.
I mean, you look at them lining up against even TCU last week, and they look massive compared to those guys.
Yeah, it would scare me, honestly, to be a college football player.
Did you see the first 3 plays?
TCU's played a lot of big-time college football programs. We're talking about elite athletes in the Big 12, and yet they just were totally overwhelmed by what the Georgia Bulldogs brought to the table, man on man.
Yep.
There's future NFL players on TCU, but there was no match.
Few and far between. Yeah.
Okay, we're going to send it to break. We'll be right back with more parade coverage as we're starting to be joined by tens of thousands of Dogs fans behind us here outside Sanford Stadium. We'll be right back.
You're watching Parade of Champions on Atlanta News First, sponsored by Beaver Toyota of Cumming. You're watching Parade of Champions on Atlanta News First, sponsored by Beaver Toyota of Cumming.
We're back here live outside Sanford Stadium where people are getting ready to go. And look at this sea of Georgia fans.
We need to get out of the way.
Unbelievable.
Eric, you just need to zoom in.
Yeah, you're on TV. You're on TV. You're on TV. Let's
go. You are watching tens of thousands of fans file into the gates of Sanford Stadium.
We see little girls with pigtails out here. We see students. We've interviewed fans as old as 82. We had a class of 1963
Amazing.
Georgia grad on our show earlier. And now we're getting the chance
It's a mean machine in red and black. Ain't nothing finer in the land. Go Dogs! Go Dogs!
You're going to hear a lot of chants like that.
Yes, you are. That same one over and over and over again.
Okay, we want to send it out to Adam Murphy. Adam, I felt like at times you were the 8-year-old little boy that you have interviewed today, enjoying this parade. What a day.
You know what? Yeah, I'm a 40-something fan, but acting like I'm about 5. But hey, when you're a Bulldog, that's just the way it is, right? When you're a Bulldog fan and you have something like this happen and you've waited so long for it, this is going to happen, guys, okay? So excuse us if we act like a bunch of fans and kids out here. We're just having a great time, and I'm sure you are at home, and I've got some other young fans that have joined me here. Tell me, what was that experience like? You guys are on the outside, got to see the parade. What was the energy like?
It was just electric. I mean, you see the players coming down, you see Kirby Smart coming down the street, everyone just goes wild. Kirby got out of the car, started waving at people. It was just an electric atmosphere.
Doesn't get much better than that, right?
Doesn't get much better.
All right, well, thanks, guys. And listen, over here, I've got some other Bulldog fans. They didn't get a ticket inside, and I guess I now know why. You didn't get a ticket for the young fella down here.
That's right.
Tell me the dog's name. This is a beautiful Bulldog.
This is Thanos. He's my English Bulldog, and we're just taking him out to have a good day on the town for the Bulldogs.
That is so great. He's getting all these oh, look at him. And he's got his own buggy. I mean, you wouldn't want to have him walk or anything, right?
No, he's royalty right next to Uga.
Yeah, take it easy. You just went 15-0 and won back-to-back championships,
He's
right?
working hard this season. He's working hard.
So I'm sure everybody's been all over you guys just coming up because you have the Bulldog, right?
Oh,
Absolutely.
So what's that been like? It's been a lot of fun to interact with other fellow Georgia fans.
Yeah. The fans love him, the kids love him, adults, kids, everyone.
Yeah, he's popular everywhere.
Oh my gosh, he is absolutely adorable. Can I give him a treat?
Yeah, go
Okay,
for it.
well, I'll probably give him too big a one here.
Here.
Might take my hand off.
There you
All right, one more treat. Come here. Come here, come here. There we go. Yeah, that's a dog. That's a good dog. All right, we're having a blast here in Athens. Celebration goes on, guys. And you know what? That ceremony starts at 2 o'clock. It's going to get even better from here, so stay put on Atlanta News First for all the action. Rob and Ella, how about that? How about them dogs, right?
How about them dogs, Adam?
I think the demand for Bulldogs is
It's
going to go up
skyrocketing.
here in Athens, Georgia.
There's a lot of English Bulldog, breeders out there that are about to make a lot of money.
I'd be advertising in Athens if I was a Bulldog breeder. That's for sure, man. It's so cool to be here. You know, this is where the fans are going in here to Sanford Stadium.
So behind us, guys, just for reference, you can see Tate Center in the back, the library, and then Sanford Stadium is right on the right. Their gates are open. Sanford Stadium usually runs through the back of here, but right now it's covered by thousands of fans patiently waiting to get into the gates for the start of the ceremony. Just incredible. They've all filed in from Lumpkin Street, which is where the parade came down. I have visceral memories of walking Sanford Stadium from North Campus to South Campus. North Campus, again, beautiful. It's where tailgating takes place. South Campus is where I spent the majority of my time, science major. But as these memories flood back, and we were talking about this earlier. Anyone who goes to school, anywhere, you go back to your school. You spent 4 years of your life there. It feels fantastic, doesn't it? This, I never got to experience while I went to school here. This has got to be really cool for the kids that are actually waking up, living in Athens, just walking down here for this today.
You can imagine, as good a school as this is, they're probably not thinking a whole lot about class on a day like this. You wake up on a Saturday morning.
You think anybody went to class on Tuesday?
Oh, man.
I'm going to say
I don't know what they did,
not.
but if they didn't cancel class...
Did you see downtown Athens?
Listen, the professors are Dogs fans too, right? They don't want to be teaching class any more than the students want to be in class.
I saw trash cans on fire. I saw trees being ripped down. I saw kids climbing up poles. I mean,
whether or not class was scheduled is irrelevant in my opinion, because it wouldn't have been there one way or the other. There's no doubt. Really cool to be a part of this
that
scene.
and Rob, we talked about this earlier, but what an incredible opportunity you and I have gotten to be able to cover this out in LA, come back here and see this. It feels like we've been able to be part of this. So thank you to Atlanta News First for allowing us this opportunity. You know, it's an experience that you get into journalism and broadcast news, and this is kind of peak experience that you get to have is something like this.
Yeah, I don't want to take it for granted because you just don't know when or if it'll happen again. And, you know, we wouldn't have imagined with as much as that team lost last year that we'd be back here again a year later broadcasting another national championship parade. But that's a testament to this football program and this school. They love their dogs, and when you have this kind of support, it's easy to see why you can be in the conversation for a national championship.
You know, Adam said it best, one of the best all-around fan bases. And I know that, you know, he's partial, I'm partial. I lived in Knoxville, Tennessee for 2 years after college. Tennessee fans, they travel well. They are diehard fans. But Georgia fans, it just doesn't get better. They travel well. We filled that stadium up. LA was full. Everywhere you went in LA, there were Dogs fans. It was really cool to see 3,000 miles to the west, so many Dogs fans last week.
College football's king in the South, and in the South, the Dogs are king of college football.
Dogs on top, baby.
National champs back-to-back. We're going to continue talking about it as we wrap our parade coverage just on the other side of the break. We'll be right back.
You're watching Parade of Champions on Atlanta News First, sponsored by Beaver Toyota of Cumming. You're watching Parade of Champions on Atlanta News First, sponsored by Beaver Toyota of Cumming.
All right, we're back here live in Athens, continuing to celebrate the national champs back-to-back Georgia Bulldogs. It's an incredible scene here as people are filling into Sanford Stadium. And I got to tell you, people are just about as excited to see this one, Ella Dorsey, as they are your champs.
Oh, come
a lot
on.
of people chanting for you, understandably so. Look, they love you. They see you every morning. You're a Dogs fan. You're as big as a Dogs fan as they come. And what a cool experience to be covering it and enjoying it as a fan.
If anyone's going to recognize me, it's going to be these people right here. Because, come on, this is where I live. These are my people, you know? Oh, man. But, yes, it's been incredible to be here today. Every time I come back to Athens, I just feel so at home. I said it to Erica and you driving in. I was like,
that's where I lived.
Oh, look, I lived here.
That's where I lived.
Gosh, yes. Just pointing things out. I'm sure you guys at home, especially all of you who went to school here, Athens is just a town that lives in your heart. It is its own city. It's called the Classic City for a reason. Between the hedges, Saturday in Athens, all of these, you know, phrases that are well known to Dogs fans are well known for that reason. It just feels great to be back in this city every time you come in, but especially for something like this today, something I never got to experience in school here, something that many fans live their whole lives without getting to experience. A really cool day to be a Georgia fan.
A day to soak in, certainly, if you're a fan. And our own Fred Khalil has been covering the Dogs for years himself. I got to ask you, Fred, did you think we'd ever be here as back-to-back national champs celebrating the Dogs?
You know, they're loaded every year. A lot of talent here every year. But Kirby, as y'all have been talking about, have really kind of pushed them over the hump, really pushed the Dogs over the hump in the position they are right now. But we're here live here among the fans waiting to get into Sanford Stadium. Ma'am, what's your name? Where are you from?
Casey Campbell from Savannah, Georgia.
From Savannah. Oh, I made the long drive. Look, you got the bedazzled.
Woo! Go Dogs!
It's got the signs right here, right? the national champs from the bookstore, turn it around. There you go. How about that? So we're out here with the fans. We got all these guys. Look at the nice jacket. That's big time right there. The national champs. So they're rolling, huh? Look at that. So go Dogs. They're ready to go.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's kind of crazy down here, guys. We're going to go back up to Ellen Rob. All right. Hold on. Now. Hold on. Let's get away over here. All right.
Fred's a man of the people as well, right?
Freddy's about to get stampeded.
Man, what an opportunity. What an opportunity. What a day to soak in and celebrate these dogs. And got to put the hat on. And, you know, I appreciate nobody giving me, you know, a hard time about soaking in this really cool experience,
Rob,
this journey we've been on to cover the Dogs. It's really easy to root for this team, in my opinion. It's really easy to enjoy this football program and this school. And I'm happy for you and all these people who've been on this ride for a long, long time. Since 1980, well before 1980, for the fans who've never experienced the national championship, and here they get to do that. And you know I was going to buy some memorabilia. I got to hang this in the man cave someday because I'm going to tell my kids about it, whether or not I went to the school or not.
A lot of men and potentially women out there getting really excited about all of the man cave potential over the last 2 years as a Georgia fan, right? And what a way to just end the season, this parade here on a beautiful day in Athens. We're so glad that you spent the day with us. Georgia fans, we love you. Atlanta News First loves the Dogs, and we're happy that you spent the day here.
Go Dogs. Thanks for watching. We'll leave you with a shot of this enormous crowd outside Sanford Stadium.